Hello and welcome to Housing TV News at the top of the hour, coming to you from our studios here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Dorcas Chia. Our top stories: the Presidency approves review of telecom laws. Federal government assures Nigerians of Ebola preparedness. The federal government also suspends planned eco-bridge closure. And on the foreign scene, oil prices rebound on supply concerns and Iran tensions. And now the news in detail. The Presidency has approved the Nigerian Communications Commission's bid to review the Nigerian Communications Act 2003 to strengthen Nigeria's digital economy. Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination, Hadiza Usman, disclosed this at the NCC National Telecommunications Policy Review Workshop in Lagos. She said the current telecommunications policies are outdated, noting that the sector now supports fintech, digital commerce, education, healthcare, and national security. NCC Executive Vice Chairman Aminu Maida said the review would address challenges such as fibre cuts, multiple taxations, high energy costs, and rural connectivity gaps. He added that the new framework aims to support innovation, investment, consumer protection, and improve digital services across the country. Moving forward, the federal government has urged Nigerian startups and digital businesses to take advantage of opportunities under the African Continental Free Trade Area (AfCFTA) by expanding across Africa and accessing global markets. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, made the call at the Baishara Africa 2026 Forum, stressing that Africa must move from trade negotiations to practical implementation. Oduwole said the success of AfCFTA would depend largely on businesses, innovators, manufacturers, and entrepreneurs willing to scale beyond local markets. The minister also announced the AfCFTA Startup Acceleration Program 2026 under the AfCFTA Korea-Africa Foundation Partnership to support 30 African startups seeking expansion opportunities, especially in the Korean market. She encouraged Nigerian startups in fintech, e-commerce, logistics, agri-tech, manufacturing, and digital platforms to apply before the May 24th deadline. The AfCFTA, launched in 2021, aims to boost intra-African trade, industrialization, and economic growth across 54 African countries. Away from that story, once again, the federal government has started disbursing outstanding 2025 allowances to beneficiaries of the Bilateral Education Agreement Scholarship Program studying abroad. In a statement by the Ministry of Education, the government said the Central Bank of Nigeria had transferred approved funds to Nigerian embassies for payment to eligible students. Minister of Education Dr. Tunji Alausa said the funds cover 50% of the outstanding payments, while efforts continue to settle this balance. He added that affected students should begin receiving payments immediately. The government said the move reflects its commitment to the welfare and academic success of Nigerian scholars abroad. The federal government once again has assured Nigerians that there is no confirmed case of Ebola virus disease in the country despite recent outbreaks reported in Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, said the government, through the NCDC, Port Health Services, and other agencies, has activated measures to strengthen surveillance, screening, and emergency response nationwide. He urged Nigerians to remain calm, avoid misinformation, and report any unusual illness to health authorities. Meanwhile, the Federal Ports Authority of Nigeria said surveillance has been intensified at international airports, especially for passengers arriving from high-risk regions. The World Health Organization also warned that the current Ebola strain spreading in affected countries has no approved vaccine or treatment. Still on health matters, the World Health Organization has approved an additional $3.4 million to support efforts to contain the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda. A World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom said the outbreak has been classified as a public health emergency of international concern due to fears of wider regional spread. According to World Health Organization, 51 Ebola cases have been confirmed in the DRC and 2 in Uganda, while about 600 suspected cases and 139 suspected deaths have been recorded. Tedros warned that the Bundibugyo strain responsible for the outbreak currently has no approved vaccine or treatment. The organization said emergency teams, medical supplies, and technical personnel have been deployed to affected areas to strengthen surveillance, treatment, and containment. Moving forward, a Nigerian and 8 other West African migrants deported from the United States have arrived in Sierra Leone under President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. The deportees, made up of 7 men and 2 women from Nigeria, Ghana, Guinea, and Senegal, landed in Freetown on Wednesday. Sierra Leone's Foreign Minister Timothy Musa Kaba said the country has agreed to accept up to 300 deportees annually from ECOWAS member states. According to officials, the migrants appeared traumatized after months in detention in the United States, with many expressing a desire to return to their home countries. The United States is reportedly providing $1.5 million to support the humanitarian and operational cost of the arrangement. We'll now take a pause here, and up next are news stories from the build sector and the foreign scene. Do stay with us.
Are you getting ready for another big one? The largest housing show in Africa. 2 decades of relentless exhibition and conference. The 20th edition of the Africa International Housing Show, happening from the 13th to 18th of July 2026 at the prestigious Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja, Nigeria. This premier event is Africa's largest housing and construction expo, attracting over 50,000 attendees in Africa and beyond, thereby giving room for developers, construction giants, financiers, home interiors, mortgage and microfinance banks, drawing from about 21 different countries of the world. Get ready to be part of history.
You're still watching Housing TV News at the hour. Now to the build sector. The federal government has suspended the planned closure of the Eko Bridge in Lagos after a fresh technical assessment declared the structure safe for continued use. Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi, announced the decision during an inspection of the bridge, saying the review followed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's directive for another evaluation to reduce hardship for commuters and businesses. According to Umahi, engineers confirmed that the bridge remains stable, although authorities will continue monitoring identified cracks and structural concerns. Despite the suspension, the federal government said remedial repairs and reinforcement works will still begin to strengthen vulnerable sections of the bridge. The planned closure had earlier raised concerns over possible traffic congestion, as Eko Bridge is a major route linking Lagos Island to the mainland. A 2-story building under construction in Umuoji, Anambra State, has partially collapsed, causing panic in the area. The incident occurred on Monday evening, but all workers escaped without injury before the structure gave way. Residents suspect poor materials and weak construction practices, worsening by heavy rainfall. The site has been sealed by state authorities who have launched an investigation into the cause of the collapse and compliance with building approvals. Moving on to the foreign scene, oil prices rose more than 1% on Thursday as investors reacted to ongoing uncertainty over Iran peace talks and continued supply disruptions. Brent crude gained $1.27 to $106.29 per barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate rose from $1.29 to $99.55. Prices recovered after falling sharply into the previous sessions, with markets closely watching development around the Strait of Hormuz and potential supply constraints linked to the U.S.-Iran conflict. Analysts said the inventory drawdowns in the U.S. and global supply tightening were also supporting prices. The U.S. Energy Information Administration reported a large withdrawal from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve and a bigger than expected drop in crude inventories, raising concerns about tightening supply. Iran has also moved to tighten control over the Strait of Hormuz as a key global oil shipping route, further heightening market uncertainty. And that's just the size of our package in Housing TV News at the hour. But before we go, a recap of stories that made the headlines. Presidency approves the review of Telecoms law. Federal government assures Nigerians of Ebola Preparedness. Federal government also suspends planned April beach closure. And on the foreign scene, we told you that oil prices rebound on supply concerns and Iran tensions. For more news in the housing sector, do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Housing TV Africa. You can follow us on all our social media platforms and download the Housing TV mobile app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. And also, you can follow us on Free TV and download the app on your mobile phone and follow more news in the housing sector. Many thanks for watching. I am Dorcas Chia. Bye for now.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts on Facebook, Housing TV Africa, on Twitter, Housing TV Africa, Instagram, Housing TV Africa. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.